Tonight on Win News.
It was just devastation. Looking in the building, it was just like everything was just shattered. The most haunting thing was to see the police officer's hat laying in the rubble.
You just had this smoke emanating out of it, and it was almost quite rancid.
Win News, tonight at 6.
Now to a special report, 30 years on from the devastating Shark Nightclub bombings. In the early hours of Friday, November 10th, 1989, 2 explosions ripped through the popular night spot. It was the second explosion as emergency crews had started investigating the scene that left several people injured. Win News was there that night, and for the first responders involved, it feels just like yesterday. Laura Mayers has this special report.
Terrifying blasts shaking Rockhampton to its core.
Explosive experts are standing by at a city nightclub, rocked by 2 powerful explosions early this morning.
There was just a huge bang, big orange flame and all.
We're waiting for scientific officers to come up from Brisbane. They should be here later on this morning.
Back in 1989, the Shark Club was the place to be on a night out. The hotspot was in the old Liberty Picture Theatre on the corner of Fitzroy and Bolsover streets. The first blast, around 3 a.m, was felt suburbs away.
We came back down here and we had a look, and there was glass and everything all over the place.
Fireys and police officers rushed to the devastating scene. Luckily, the club was closed. Retired QFES officer Alan Titman was one of the first to arrive.
It blew out roller doors, and the glass windows in Fitzroy Street, where in the kitchen there, they actually damaged the fire appliance, and they damaged the building on the opposite side of Fitzroy Street.
4 explosive devices. There was also the one up on the stage. It was still casually ticking away, waiting for it to detonate itself.
Our CBD went into lockdown. That first blast damaged most of those remaining devices, meaning they couldn't detonate. But one did, with devastating consequences.
So the original explosion was at 3 o'clock, the second one was at 15 minutes past 3. I don't recall anything after that, other than what I've been told.
A terrifying close call for unsuspecting officers, including Alan.
Had I have been down the bottom of the stairs, I would have certainly been killed, because the doors were on the inside that went through where I would have been walking.
I got the hairs on the back of my neck stand up as I walked through that doorway, and apparently I found out later on that's pretty much where the bomb was that exploded.
Decades later, Sergeant John Dallow is still with the Rockhampton police. He'll never forget that awful morning.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your 35 years working with QPS?
No, and I probably never will, thank goodness.
The Shark Nightclub bombings launched one of the biggest investigations in Rockhampton CIB history. To this day, a motivation for the attack was never determined.
Whoever had to put it together had to have some knowledge of explosives. It was put together in a fashion where it was quite effective.
In the end, there was a conviction over the incident.
Just after that second blast, a Win News crew arrived on scene. 23-year-old journalist Joe Thorpe and cameraman Kent Murray.
It was just devastation. Looking in the building, it was just like everything was just shattered and blown over and hanging down, and holes in windows and roller doors blown out.
You just had this smoke emanating out of it, and it was almost quite rancid, and it was just black, the entire area.
Ms. Thorpe won the Anning Barton Media Award for her coverage of the bombings.
I suppose the most haunting thing was to see the police officer's hat laying in the rubble, but knowing the fact that we got there, I didn't know whether the officer had lived or died.
A dark chapter in our city's history those who were there will never forget. Laura Mayers, Win News.